Welcome to Unshackled. My name is Jo Draper. I'm a freedom and transformation coach, yogi, traveler, and ocean lover. If you're looking for soul-connected conversation, ready to raise your vibration and awaken to your fullest potential and purpose in life, then you have found your place. I will share tools, strategies, and inspiration on how you can build soaring confidence and create a life and a business that you are wildly in love with. Get ready to unshackle the chains that have been holding you back. Hello, my beautiful soul family, and welcome to another episode of Unshackled. Thank you for being here with me today. Before we jump in today, guys, I want to share with you on these podcasts, basically it's just me getting on here, talking to the microphone, seeing what comes through. This is not pre-written, pre-rehearsed, and this perfect, polished piece that needs to go out. It is me speaking from the heart, speaking on sharing experiences. I share my personal life and where I'm traveling and what's happening on the world, and then also real tools and strategies that you can use to implement into your own life to see change. Today we're going to look at triggers, and this includes understanding ourselves and our own triggers, and when we're triggered emotionally and how we respond and act to that trigger. This takes a lot of self-reflection. It also takes a lot of self-actualization and realization and being okay with what you don't like about yourself, being open to see things that you don't want to see about yourself, being open to shining the light on the shadow and exposing that part of yourself instead of pushing it down and pretending like it doesn't exist. In episode 3, we talked about emotional eating and how we overdo things, how we overeat, overdrink, overuse porn, overwork, overgamble. Anything that we're doing in excess is because we're buffering an emotion. And in that episode, I got you to have a bit of a look and consider where you may be doing this in your life and starting to understand the emotion and recognizing the emotion when it's present in the body and dealing with that initial emotion rather than compounding all these other emotions on top, rather than dealing with the initial emotion. And the biggest thing I want you to consider before we really start to delve into this topic is know that there are things about yourself right now that you cannot see. There are behavioral responses you have, there are thought patterns you have, there are feelings that you create within the body, and there are things about yourself you cannot see. And I think when we can truly understand and embody this opens this gateway of self-development, of truly developing ourselves, because we're willing to sit with the discomfort, to see the things we don't want to see, to feel the experiences we haven't previously wanted to experience. So I'm going to share with you an example. I caught myself doing this only just last week. Something popped up on my Instagram, and next thing I was looking through Kate Hudson's entire Instagram profile. I don't even follow her. I never look at her things. And somehow I went into this spiral and bringing her up and looking at her pictures. And all of a sudden I started feeling really down on myself and this voice playing out and feeling not good enough and feeling like she's so much better and she's done so much more and she's got this amazing body and she's beautiful. And she is all of those things. But hang on, what is inside of me? Why do I feel triggered by that? Okay, I feel triggered by that because I haven't created what she's created. Maybe I don't have the husband, the children, the successful career, the money that she has. So that's triggered something inside of me. I believe that I'm not as beautiful. So I'm triggered by that. And then being there, watching that, going through her profile is creating these triggers. So I'm very aware of this, right? So I can just have a bit of a laugh, get out of it and move on, and really understanding social media can be so dangerous for this. So we want to catch ourselves. It's an opportunity to understand what's going on within inside of us. So I'll give you another example. You're in the workplace and then all of a sudden you're in a meeting and you get really defensive and you don't really know where that comes from, but you feel this need that you need to defend yourself, that you need to speak up, that you need to be the one that has the voice, that says the things And then you step back and you self-reflect on that. Why did I need to push through that? Why did had to be from this place of ego? Whenever our ego rears up, this is an opportunity to self-evaluate and understand what's really going on. So you might look at that situation and say, what was really going on there? Okay, what was really going on is somebody else presented something in the meeting and they were talking about things that I didn't fully understand. When I look at that, okay, that made me feel really insecure because I have a belief system that I'm not smart enough, that I'm not good enough. Maybe I feel I'm not good enough for this job. Maybe I feel that other people are better than me and more successful. So what we need to do is go back and honor that and understand, okay, so there is still a part of me that feels insecure. Okay, how am I going to build that up? Instead of projecting our insecurities onto other people, why don't we go back and deal with that emotion, deal with that feeling, that insecurity that we're feeling, being able to find peace within ourselves. Here's the thing, say if you've got insecurities about your body and you might look at Instagram, this is very, very common and why I use this example. You might be looking through Instagram and seeing all these women or men with amazing bodies and you're constantly feeling triggered. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough because you believe that that's not a reality for you. You believe it's not a reality for you to create that body and to feel like that and to look like that. But here's the thing, when you love yourself, regardless of what society says is beautiful, what is a perfect body, when you can truly love yourself and love your body as it is, you're not going to be triggered by other bodies, by other people, because it's like, wow, look at her body, it's amazing, but so is mine. And even if your body has stretch marks and cellulite, and maybe you're carrying a few extra kilos, which is most of the population, who cares? Love yourself anyway. Nurture yourself anyway. Love yourself with all of the scars, the marks, the experiences. Another example that can be quite common with women is if you're one of those women who say things like, oh, I don't like other women, they're too bitchy, they're too high maintenance, there's too much drama, I'm one of the boys, I've always been one of the boys. Have a good look at that because you are rejecting the feminine energy. There is something within you that believes it's not safe to be feminine, to express feminine energy. So you will reject that in other women. And I know this, guys, because I've been there. I remember when I was quite young in my 20s, I met this girl and she was telling me she wanted to be a beautician. And I was just shaking my head like, why on earth would you want to be that? Like, that to me is just the most boring thing in the world. It was because I was rejecting that feminine energy because that wasn't something that was important to me. There was absolutely nothing wrong with that job. That's a perfect job for somebody. But I was rejecting that part because I had a belief system that it wasn't okay to be feminine. It wasn't okay to spend time doing that. I've also experienced this. One thing that used to upset me was women that I believed that were too needy, too clingy, hanging on to their partners, needing their partners to be there, couldn't be independent, couldn't go and do things by themselves. I found this really frustrating. But hang on, when I look at that deeper, what is that triggered within me? I have created a belief system that it's not okay to be clingy or needy, that I must be independent, that I must be able to do things because that's strong, that's strength, that's what makes a good person, because I'm rejecting that part of my feminine energy. And sometimes I caught myself doing this recently, guys. I was at the airport in the Maldives, in Mali, and I saw this girl and her suitcase come off and she just looked at her husband to get the suitcase. And my first reaction was like, whoa, are you serious? Like, you can't get your own suitcase? And then I was like, whoa, hang on. What is within me that's rejecting that, that's projecting my own shit onto somebody else? So straight away in that moment, instead of going down this downward spiral of, oh, who does she think she can't even pick up her own? I could pick up my own suitcase. No, hang on. What's the deeper thing? And I instantly turned that around and I said, just in my own mind, is good on her. Good on her for having somebody that is there to love her and support her. Good on her for, maybe she doesn't have the strength. Maybe she's got a back injury, whatever the reason is. Maybe that's the dynamics of their relationship, and he's really in feminine, in healthy masculine energy, and he wants to pick up the suitcase for her. Why do I have an issue with that? What is my problem with that? It's not her problem. I've just projected my own belief systems and insecurities onto somebody else. And although I would never say that or look, but it's like I caught myself doing that, and then we've got the opportunity to go back. Another example would be if what you're truly, say you have this desire to earn a lot of money, to be wealthy, but then you're looking at other people and saying things like, oh God, it's so easy for her. She came from money, or I bet she's married rich. Or I bet she's had so much support, or she was so lucky to get that job, or whatever it is. You're projecting a belief system that you don't believe it's possible for you, because the only way for you to create wealth was for it to have to come from partner or a parents or something outside of you. So you're telling yourself again that it's not possible for you. You're placing your trigger because really you desire that, and then you're projecting that onto them. And again, it doesn't mean you're saying out loud or verbally expressing that to this person. Maybe you are, but you're being triggered because you believe it's not possible for you, and you're projecting that in some way, even if it's only with your thoughts. Needing to prove people wrong. And there is a big difference between, I'll give you an example. I put a lot of stuff on social media, and every now and then I'll put out a typo. And there's two ways people will respond to that. One of the ways will be, oh, Jo, I just caught this typo, thought you would know. And I'll be like, thank you so much. I'm so grateful. I don't have an editor. I do all of this work myself, and I'm really grateful you caught that out. Thank you. There's another type of person that will be like, look at this. Jo's put a mistake out on the internet. Now, she's got a communications degree, but I caught a mistake. I need to let her know that because it will make me feel better. See the difference? And this is something I can sense this behavior, feel this behavior a mile away. If somebody has good intention behind something, or somebody has ill intention behind something, and it's when you don't have a good intention behind it, is because you're projecting, again, your shit onto somebody else. I had a friend once accidentally tell a secret about me, something that only a few people knew, and it came out of her mouth. And when it did, she instantly felt so bad and apologized straight away. And I never felt an ounce of anger or resentment or anything towards her, because I know it was not done with bad intention. It was a genuine mistake, and we're humans and we make mistakes. Whereas I have had other women intentionally spread things, say things about you with the intention that they want to be able to bring you down. So if you ever catch yourself stepping into this where it's like, I need to prove them wrong, or gossiping, this person's hurt me, so I'm going to go and gossip because I need to build evidence that my side of the story is correct. So I'm going to go and tell people about it, and they're going to agree with me, and that's going to make me feel better. No, you're just being triggered because you feel insecure. Heal that part of yourself, understand that part of yourself, and deal with that than trying to find all this external validation. If you're listening to this podcast, it is very likely that you are on a personal development journey, and I fully celebrate you and congratulate you for that. There are people that delve into self-development and they see massive results very quickly, and there are other people that continue to do it for years and years, but they don't really see the results. They can say all the right things, but they're not really transforming on a deeper level. And I believe the difference is the integration. The person that's really seeing the transformation, they're fully embodying and integrating the work, and the other person is just regurgitating the words. They're saying things they've heard, but it's from a head space, an information space. It's not from a heart space, a feeling space. And if you are on a personal development journey, which I'm assuming that you are if you're still listening to this podcast, is stepping into this deeper level of self-realization and self-responsibility. Because we can read all the books and have the coaches and do the things, but if we're not truly willing to look at ourselves and our own behaviors, then we're not going to truly shift. Guys, I have just shared here on an open platform some of my insecurities and how I have responded to them. So it's being willing and able to look at those, to see those things. I don't want to admit that I had issues with my feminine energy, but I did. So let's share it. Let's be real. Let's be raw. And I can even sometimes see this with my clients when they're masking things, when they're just not willing to go there. And it's been able to push them through to see this about yourself, to be able to truly be willing to change. So what I want you to do is, after you finish listening to this episode, is I want you to sit down and spend some time journaling on this. Write a triggers list. Where in my life am I being triggered? The first key to stepping into this is looking at your ego. Where is my ego rearing up? Where do I feel like I have to be defensive? I have to prove myself. That I have to find flaws in other people's work or other people's bodies or other people's relationships or other people's success. Where can I find those flaws? Because that's going to make me feel good about myself. These are all signs of the ego. Being overly independent. And guys, honestly, again, real transparency. This is something that I continue to work on. I am probably one of the most independent people I've ever met. But let's look at that a little bit deeper. What is the belief system attached to that? And I know some of you are going to be listening to this going, oh yeah, this is me. This is me. It's because you have a belief system that nobody is there for you. That if you don't do it, then nobody will do it. Deal with that, nurture that, manage that, rather than project that onto somebody else. Comparison. Where are you comparing yourself to others? Are you comparing your car to their car, your body to their body, your relationship to their relationship, your business to their business? Catch yourself doing that. And again, there'll be so much of this going on that you don't actually see within yourself. So this is your invitation to look a little deeper, explore, discover. Where is my ego coming up? How can I recognize what's truly going on? Journal on this. Write a list of where you know your ego rises. What's really going on? Where do you feel insecure, unloved, unnurtured? And then be able to give this to yourself. Gossiping about other people. If this is something that you find yourself engaging in or starting, it's because you're looking for validation, external validation. Learn how to catch yourself in this pattern and then break the pattern, break that cycle. If you're gossiping to make yourself feel better, go in and make yourself feel better rather than trying to do it externally. Anytime the ego pops up, the ego rears its ugly head, it's trying to protect you. You feel unloved, unnurtured, unsafe. So you're doing this to seek external validation so you can feel better. But the key is to be able to give that to yourself. Okay, there's a girl in the office and she's beautiful and intelligent, and I'm so triggered by that because deep down I feel insecure that I'm not intelligent enough and I'm not beautiful enough. Gossiping about her isn't going to make you feel more beautiful or more loved or more intelligent. But you just do it instinctively. This is the ego trying to protect the self. Okay, so I can see I'm triggered by this beautiful, intelligent woman in the office. Okay, cool. I know I'm still working on my self-belief, self-esteem. Okay, I know I'm intelligent as well. I know I am beautiful. I don't need to compare myself to other people. Go in, do the work, give yourself whatever you're trying to seek externally. Another one to look out for is blaming others. When something goes wrong or we have a perception that we failed at something, oh, it was somebody's fault, it was the school's fault, it was work's fault, it was my partner's fault, it was my children's fault. We'll blame other people. We might do this internally to justify in our own minds why we haven't been able to create that or succeed in that particular area. So stepping in and taking true self-responsibility, radical self-responsibility. So take away from this, stepping into true self-responsibility. Am I truly willing and able to look at the parts of myself that I don't particularly like and jump in and nurture them? Look at, what are my triggers? Where am I being triggered? Where is my ego rearing up? And what do I need to give myself? How can I validate myself and make myself feel loved, nurtured, supported, worthy, enough? Whatever it is you're trying to seek, because you don't feel that, go in and give yourself that. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. If you got anything out of this, please share the love, share the podcast, send it on to some of your friends. If you would love to let me know how this lands, you can connect with me on Instagram. I am .Jo Draper. Please make sure you like and subscribe, and I look forward to connecting soon in the next episode. All the love.